Hi everyone, we are doing episode 3 of All In. Erica Freeman is going to be joining us shortly. So we're so excited to have her join us live today to talk a little bit about her Binghamton experience and also to share a little bit more about what she does now and some advice that she has. So if you have any questions for Erica, she will introduce herself shortly as soon as we get connected with her. She'll introduce herself and she will start to answer some of your questions, but definitely feel free to either put them in the chat or you can also use the questions feature to do that. So we will get Erica right here. She'll be joining us any second now. Again, you can put your questions either in the chat or use the feature. Hi, Erica.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. We're so excited to have you. This is episode 3 of All In, our alumni live lunch interview. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is really exciting.
Good. Yeah, we're excited to use some new formats and have some fun new ways for recent alum to connect with students.
Great.
Awesome. So can you start by telling everyone who's watching a little bit about yourself and your Binghamton experience?
Sure. So I'm Erica Freeman. I graduated Binghamton SOM in 2015, majored in MIS and leadership and consulting. Actually worked at the Fleischman Center all 4 years of school. So definitely a second home family for me. Loved working with everyone there. So that was really fun. Also at Binghamton was involved in a sorority and was involved in Rebold Binghamton, which brought a lot of art to the Binghamton community. We also graffitied President Stanger's office, actually. I don't know if he's still active, but it's kind of a fun fact. Yeah. And just really involved in other SOM activities, participating here and there in networking sessions and Actus, things like that.
Awesome. Great. And can you tell us a little bit about what you do now and where you're working?
Sure. So right now I'm at Deloitte. I'm an IT senior consultant. So I help clients, mainly my industry sectors are mainly in the technology, media, and consumer products industries, and help them from anything from digital transformation, analytics, to maybe regulatory issues, all focused with an IT lens. So we have teams that are more financial, but for me, it's more IT focused. And this is actually a role that I came into recently. I joined back in October, so I've been there for less than a year. Prior to this was at PwC and then was also at a small cybersecurity firm, but happy to be with Deloitte now.
Great. Awesome. And we had a couple students ask questions on our Instagram story a little bit earlier. And, you know, it hasn't been a super long time that you've been with Deloitte, but someone asked what that environment is like and what it's like working with them and everything.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, it's a big company, so you're not going to know everyone. It's kind of like picking your colleges. You know, you're small, you're medium, you're large, and Big Four companies are definitely your large ones. Yeah. For me, it's really nice that my group within Deloitte is a smaller group. So I've really gotten to know a lot of people, even being there less than a year that I have. Yeah. But everyone is so friendly. It's a very amazing climate that's really focused on people's career growth and making sure that they're successful, and really helping to mentor, grow your skill set. Maybe if a group in Deloitte that you went into wasn't for you, trying to find your place somewhere else. And everyone's really working together that way to make sure that you are successful, which is a really nice environment to be a part of.
Yeah, that's great. I love hearing about companies that are focused on their employees' professional development and overall development. So that's always nice to hear.
Yeah, it's huge. So, you know, especially at a company that big, you don't know if you're in the right group necessarily. I'm lucky to have found my group, but they help navigate, and they're really good about that. So, yeah.
That's great. Another question that we had come in actually relates to skills, and a student asked, what was one skill that you acquired in your time at Binghamton that really helped you enter the working world?
Oof, that's a hard one. Funny enough, probably my Microsoft skills.
Mm.
Any classes you take on Excel or PowerPoint are more than you can even imagine. Even though I'm in IT and tech, and a lot of people I work with are technology driven,
yeah,
there are still plenty of people that you encounter, manager, director, partner level, that don't know some of the things that come so naturally to you if you take these Excel or PowerPoint classes. They're like, oh, there's that feature. Like, I didn't know you could do that. And something that seems so small to you because we took that class in Binghamton has been huge for them. So I think just mastering some of these Microsoft, which sounds so, basic, but it's so funny when you get to these places that you realize how important they are.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, and that's certainly something from the career services world that we're hearing more and more, regardless of industry or field that students are entering. Those Excel skills especially are in high demand. So,
yeah.
So that's great. I'm glad that you were able to take some classes that helped you to really be prepared for that.
Yeah, definitely. Got to TA an Excel one too, which was cool. But yeah, that and just also adaptability. I think in Binghamton, you meet a lot of people, get to network with a lot of great people. And a huge thing at Deloitte too is networking. Like if you don't speak up and try and meet people, no one can help you. So being able to learn to talk to people and get really comfortable in that kind of environment can really propel you no matter what you do or where you are. Just having these kind of soft skills are really hard for a lot of people. So Binghamton really helps with that.
Good. And are there any examples of networking opportunities that you took advantage of while you were at Binghamton that you'd suggest other students take advantage of?
Yeah. I love networking. I very much believe that networking helps you in any way you can. You never know who or how you're going to run into someone. I think at Binghamton, I leveraged the Fleischman Center as much as I can. I'm not trying to,
Thank you.
go to the Fleischman Center. This was not planned. But seriously, there were certain employers that maybe I wasn't comfortable with, or that I didn't know as well, or maybe, I wasn't a good candidate on paper or in the system.
Yeah.
And I went and talked to some of the mentors I had, or just some of the other professionals at the center, and was saying, okay, me, we know each other really well. Even if you didn't, they're so helpful there. But can you help me get to know this employer, or get to know this person, or get to know maybe what I need to do? And there have been a few times where I was able to apply and successfully achieve an interview or get scheduled for an interview where honestly I probably wouldn't have otherwise, or I wasn't applicable, and then because I networked, I became applicable. Things like that really helped. And also just the Binghamton network after graduating and after getting through that process, when I wanted to switch jobs or go somewhere different, my first thing I do is to go to LinkedIn, type in a company I'm interested in, and then filter for the Binghamton people and just cold message people and see what they're up to. And I think just in general, the Binghamton network is a lot friendlier and willing to help out others than maybe some others.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And especially just remembering that you're not at this alone when you leave Binghamton. That Binghamton network is everywhere. And I'm often so pleasantly surprised when I'm working with a student who wants to go maybe somewhere that doesn't have as big of a concentration of Binghamton alum, but where they're still able to make a connection with someone, even if it's not in their industry. It's just purely location based. And like you said, just a very friendly network. And that's coming from someone I did not attend Binghamton, and I believe it, and I see it. So I think that's some great advice.
Yeah, it's really great. And even when you're going to a new job, even at my really small company that I didn't think I was going to know anyone there, I didn't know someone, but he went to Binghamton, and all of a sudden I had a confidant there that I can hang out with. Yeah. So it's just really nice, and to never be afraid to reach out to them, even if you have no idea who they are, or it's just a cold message. Binghamton people are really supportive of others.
Awesome. I love that. And again, kind of staying on the skills trend here, someone asked, what is a skill that you have gained since leaving Binghamton and starting your professional career?
Ooh, that one's hard too. I think honestly, for me, a lot of the skills are technically based because I work in IT. It's learning about a lot of the technology and cloud that comes up. And every time there's an emerging technology, I need to know about it because my clients are going to ask me. So really understanding some of the basic technology or basic IT architecture that I've learned. I think across any job that I've had, the main base is understanding a company's risk. What's their risk for potential IT issues or vulnerabilities or hacking? And those are so hard to obtain until you're in the job and you can apply them. And so learning about maybe some of these different regulations or what's going on in the world with IT threats and things, it really comes up on the job versus in school.
Yeah, I think that's true with any industry, right? That there's always going to be skills that you can't learn or can't apply until you're in that situation. So
exactly.
Awesome. Great. Can you tell us a little bit about your career goals? I know you just recently started with Deloitte, but maybe where you see yourself in another 5 or 10 years?
Yeah. So definitely in the next 5 years, still see myself at Deloitte, working my way up, hopefully becoming a leader in the group as well. I'm very much enjoying it there and see it as a good step that I took in my career. So very happy with it and seeing it for a while. If we're talking long term, would love to be like a IT director or CIO or CRO, chief risk officer for a tech or media company. I think that would be really cool, but definitely very long term. But making my way up now that I get to be in an industry where I have a lot of different clients, I get to see a lot of different companies, what works, what doesn't, and work with a lot of smart people. So
I love that. And certainly I've been saying this to all of our guests so far, but every time they talk about their career goals, I'm like, well, when you make that next step, we'll circle back, for part 2. So
yeah,
we'll definitely keep that in mind. So what advice do you have our students, anyone who's tuning in? They finished finals recently. Some may still be job searching or just starting that process, or preparing for a little bit of a different summer before hopefully we're back on campus in the fall. But what advice do you have for students, whether they are still at Binghamton or they've just graduated?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and I think my biggest piece of advice is I remember when I was a senior or even just an undergrad, and that pressure you have to find a job, to find an internship, it's there and it's hard to let go of, no matter how many people say, don't worry, you'll find it. Like, you'll never really have that off your shoulders. But I think the biggest thing is if that first job or first internship or first whatever it is isn't right for you, that's okay. And I've learned that over my career. I remember that I had all this pressure put on me that I needed to find the job, and it was going to be my job for life, and it was going to be the best job ever, and it was going to be, I was in this dream land, and it wasn't, and it was totally okay. And you learn what you like and you don't like, and you just try and leverage the experience you did get. So when you are going out and trying to find that job, whether, especially in this climate, because I know we can't be in person, just take the opportunities that you can get. Maybe it'll be great, even if it's not your ideal situation. But if it's not, that's okay. And in a year or two, when things get better, then you can find something else, and to hopefully with that alleviate a little bit of pressure that it has to be your dream job right now, because it doesn't.
Great. I love that. I think that's great advice, especially in the climate. And, just a reminder to students that there are still opportunities out there. And I think maybe most important, the big takeaway from our conversation today is just that your Binghamton network is everywhere. And there are so many people who are willing to help where they can and just have conversations too. So before I ask my last question, how can students find you and contact you?
Sure. I think the best way is on LinkedIn, Erica Freeman. You can find me on LinkedIn and message me. That's probably the easiest way, just through telling. Of course, my Instagram's usually private, but you can also message me on here if you need to.
Great. Thanks so much, Erica. And the last question, because this is our live lunch interview, we are incorporating a food question to close us out. So no pressure on this answer, but what is your favorite pizza topping? My favorite pizza topping is probably mushrooms.
very plain. I don't like my pizza too crazy, just plain mushrooms and some red pepper, and that's perfect.
Awesome. I love it. Thanks so much for joining us for All In. We were so happy to have you on here.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I can't wait for students to really go out and network after they watch this.
Yes, please.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Erica. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.